Hi, Groovy Kim here. You know, I've been hinting around about how you might go about starting to heal yourself. And I've been talking about how I learned to connect to the quantum field. And I learned these skills by watching Dr. Joe Dispenza's videos and reading his books. I read all of his books and watched almost all of his videos and documentaries that I could get a hold of. And because I started seeing real results, some of you may know I was diagnosed with severe rheumatoid arthritis in both hands and my wrists, and I have it in my feet and in my shoulders, and I also have osteoarthritis in both knees, and supposed to have them both replaced. I have a lot of medical issues that I've been diagnosed with, but I actually don't have any symptoms anymore, or very little, and very far few and in between compared to what I was dealing with just a very short time ago. So, what I'd like to do is kind of dive in a little bit more as to what I found really works for me when I was starting to learn how to meditate. Okay, one of the things that I found was helpful was I learned from Dr. Deepak Chopra. You see, I dove in deep. If I figured if I was going to go ahead and do this, I mean, really heal myself, I really needed to learn from the best that's out there. And Dr. Joe Dispenza, Deepak Chopra, Greg Braden, these are all teachers that are present day right here at our disposal that you truly can learn from. So Deepak was teaching me one day in one of his videos that when you are meditating and listening to your breath, becoming the observer, you need to ask yourself, who am I? And what do I want? Okay, you may never have asked yourself that before, but it's important to ask yourself, who are you and what do you want? You don't necessarily have to answer the question. That's the cool thing. In fact, don't try to answer it because the answer will just intuitively come to you anyway. It's in the quantum field, you see. That information's already there, always has been. So don't worry yourself about trying to answer such questions. Just put it out there and ask it. That already in itself lets your body know that you're open to receiving answers. Okay, that might be a little deep. That's okay. Let's move on here. So, one of the things that I was able to answer, I don't think I was able to answer, and I'm still not really able to answer, who am I? But one thing that I can answer, and right away this was apparent to me, what I want. What do I want? I want to be healthy. I want to be pain-free. I mean, goodness, that's what I want. I'm tired of this, right? Is what I was telling myself. So, geez, I know what I want. All right, so we've got that part down. Okay, so one thing that I learned is that you have to go about acting in your mind as if you already have what it is you want. So in my case, I wanted the swelling to go away. I wanted the pain to go away. Well, how do you act as if you don't have pain and swelling when clearly you do? This is where the meditation comes in, okay? So one thing I learned that you could do is use the placebo effect to your advantage. Now, you've heard of the placebo effect, right? That's where merely a suggestion of something will have an effect as if it really happened, right? Like the doctor who prescribes the sugar pill to the patient who is a hypochondriac. I actually had that happen in my life. I used to work for a physician who did that, and it worked. The patient absolutely had relief. And the reason why the placebo effect works, it's easy to say, oh, well, it's all just in your head. Yes, it is all just in your head, but it's deeper than that. It's actually a chemical response. You actually release the chemicals that match the feelings you have. So if you feel that a placebo sugar pill is going to make you better and you actually believe it, you will release the drugs inside of your body, the actual chemicals that are required to get rid of those symptoms and make it so. Thus, the placebo effect really does work. So what does that mean? That means that you yourself, your mind, was able to heal yourself. Just like you were able to make yourself sick if you dwell on your symptoms, what you focus on expands. Okay. So let's try expanding the good, right? The what if I didn't have symptoms and swelling and pain? Expand on that, right? Okay. So here's something that I learned from Dr. Joe. I love you, Dr. Joe. I haven't actually been to one of his workshops. I would love to attend. I understand he just had one recently in Cancun. In fact, I've watched every video I could get my hands on about that. Dr. Joe, I would love to attend. I haven't been able to afford your tickets. One day I will attend. It's that important to me because, geez, if I can heal myself this well just by watching YouTube videos, imagine how much further I could go actual attending a live event. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one day. But in the meantime, I sure have gleaned a lot off of what's out there and what he's already put out there. Okay, so yeah, watch his videos and you will learn. And tune into my videos because that way we can help each other and you can kind of track how I'm doing and hopefully learn from me and apply it to your own life, right? That's the whole point of my channel here. So please subscribe. And that way we can keep track together of how this is going and how my symptoms are coming along. And hopefully that'll track a lot right along with yours. And you will see real improvement too. All right, so here's another thing I learned. Now, like I say, I didn't actually get to attend an event. But I understand that Dr. Joe has his students come up with something they call a mind movie. Well, now, when I heard about that, I thought, oh, that got my creative juices flowing. And I immediately thought of ideas of how I could put that to work for myself in my meditations. You see where I'm going with this? A mind movie. That's right. Placebo effect. Starting to come together for you? Okay, so here's the thing. I'm dreaming. And I'm starting to get into this. How do I learn how to meditate? How do I really meditate? I understand if I'm going to connect to the quantum field, it's not about just closing your eyes and being quiet. You have to actually figure out how to connect to the quantum field. Okay, so if I can learn to do a mind movie and use that, I'm open to it, right? If it will help me, I'm open to it. I'm all for it. So in my dream, I often dream of tropical warm places. In fact, my sweetheart and I are going to be honeymooning in Maui coming up. We were supposed to this year, but pandemic and all didn't get to. That's all right. It's postponed and we'll still get to. But I have this dream, right? Tropical warm waters and I keep seeing this sea turtle. Now, I've always been fascinated by sea turtles. I just love them. And as I kept having dreams about sea turtles and kept asking the question, how do I meditate and who am I and what do I really want? How do I do this? I kept seeing this sea turtle. And I thought, wait a minute. Then I saw this video about making a mind movie. And I thought, well, now, what if I put those together? So I started thinking, I could make a sea turtle into like my spirit guide. Wait, what if that's what was in my dream? What if that's it? How come I thought of that? Maybe I'm supposed to be thinking of that. Anyways, things just started falling into place, and before I know it, I'm thinking of sea turtles all the time. As you might know, in one of my other things that I like to do, I'm a polymer clay artist. I'm also a wedding officiant, ordained minister. I worked in the medical profession. I do all kinds of stuff. Anyways, thinking about these turtles, right? I started making them. And I just couldn't stop. I was just so into it. I made these jewelry, necklaces, and it looks like it might turn out blurry. And then I had, earrings and just sea turtles, right? Sea turtles. Dreaming about them. All right, so I start using them in my meditation and start thinking, mind movie. So what I did was I started telling myself, sea turtles. Who knew? Who knew? And what's so weird, when you start meditating, more and more synchronicities and really weird coincidences will start stacking up and happening, and you'll start noticing them. It's like a wonderful side effect of meditation. When you start meditating, no kidding, really cool stuff will start happening. That's where the mystical kind of starts happening. It's really weird, but it's true. So I've got all this sea turtle mystical stuff going on, and so I start looking up sea turtles, and I start learning. I know I'm going to Maui, right? And I'm like, well, wait a minute. What's the word for sea turtle in Hawaiian? Guess what? Honu. I thought, who knew? Honu. There was another synchronicity. Just like that. All this time I'm walking around sea turtles. Who knew? And it sounded just like Honu. I got goosebumps. I looked up Honu, the Hawaiian word for green sea turtle. Excuse me. And do you know that it means good luck and long life? Honu. Who knew? Of all things, talk about another synchronicity. Just wonderful, wonderful. So I'm starting to use Honu as my spirit guide in my meditations, right? So I turn the lights off and I make a big deal out of it, because if I want this placebo effect to work on myself, I got to dive in and really go for it, right? I want to shed this autoimmune disease. I'm sick and tired of it. So I'm all in, right? So I actually went on YouTube, good old YouTube, and looked up sea turtles. Yeah, I started watching the movies of sea turtles, and I would turn the lights down low, light some candles, and I imagined Honu swimming through my body, very wise and very calm. You see, I knew autoimmune disease is the very nature, is that your immune system is so out of whack that it's attacking your own joints. It certainly was my case. And knowing that, and the way the doctors explained it to me, that it's just attacking your joints, I thought, well, Honu would never do that, right? So I made up this whole story, my mind movie, and I said to myself, Honu swims with purpose and calmness and wisdom. She's very wise, and she swims very slowly, right? With purpose through my body. And she goes to all of my joints and my in my hands and all the swollen places, and she tends her gardens, which are my joints. And I would watch the movie of the sea turtles, and as they go amongst the coral reef, I would imagine those were my joints. And she swims in there wisely, and she packs in the, pretending as she goes through the kelp that it's the cartilage in my joints, and that she's repairing it. And she loves me. I just got goosebumps. You see how much I'm making my body react and believe in this entity that may or may not really be there. It doesn't really matter now, does it? The point is, if I am grateful that she's helping me out and that we get to be together in my meditations, so what if it's working, right? All right. I don't care if you call it kooky. I'm telling you, it's working for me, and it's a mind movie that I actually enjoy and look forward to now. I even do it when I first wake up in the morning, and then I do it while I'm in bed getting ready to go to sleep. I say, Honu, would you like to go for a swim? And I close my eyes, and I'm back under the sea with her again. And what are we doing? We're swimming calmly, right? The opposite of my overreactive immune system, right? I use the words calm. I use words on purpose. Remember, I have another video. You might want to check it out. It's about how words are actually kind of like magic spells. I mean, you have to pay attention to what you say to yourself. And so if you say things like calm and loving, and Honu never allows inflammation. She stands guard with wisdom, and she takes care of my joints, right? And so whatever your condition is, you can customize a mind movie for your own self. It doesn't have to be a spirit animal like mine, or you could use Honu. I don't care, and I'm sure she wouldn't mind. But you know what? Use whatever you want. Use whatever works for you. The point is, use the placebo effect to your advantage, because your subconscious has no idea what's the truth and what's not. That's the reason you're able to easily make yourself sick with worry. Whether there's something to really be worried about or not, your mind is so powerful that what you dwell on will expand, and you will release the corresponding chemicals. So we don't want those to be stressful, to add to our inflammation. We don't want cortisol and those stressful chemicals, do we? No, we want the good ones, the serotonin, the melatonin, the wonderful chemicals that you have already in your body, the oxytocin, all of these that you can release on command just by having a wonderful mind movie. Grateful, wonderful thoughts. You gotta be grateful. You have to pair the elevated emotion with the movie. You can't just, for example, if I was to just sit there and look at the beautiful sea turtle in my mind and say, oh, isn't she beautiful, and watch her swim, sure, it has a calming effect, and that has helpful benefits, of course. But I'm talking about letting your emotions run high with gratitude and love. I mean, actually feel the love coming from your heart with whatever your mind movie is, because that's what will impress your brain to begin to release those chemicals that then actually biologically gives you an upgrade to your health. Is this making sense? Okay, we'll do some more together. Please subscribe, because the more we talk about this, the more we can heal together. Please leave your comments below and let me know how you're doing. And if you have anything you'd like me to talk about some more, because the more we discuss this together, the more we can heal together. And wow, when we heal together, that's really groovy, right?